Okay, our theme is the role of the note-taking in the developing listening skills in the middle school students. Next, here you can see our contents. First one, introduction, chapter 1, listening skills in middle school students, definition of listening skills, development of listening skills in adolescents, and second chapter, the process of note taking. Types of note taking, methods, benefits of note taking, and chapter 3, the role of note taking in enhancing listening skills. Record information with accuracy, and so on. First one, we should see introduction. Activities. Middle school students are typically taught good listening skills in preschool, but by the time they reach middle school, it seems many of these skills are forgotten. If your students need to improve their listening skills, there are several strategies and activities that can be used to help them develop this essential skill. Remember, if you have students with hearing impairments, make sure to adjust and modify lessons as needed to ensure success for all learners. Integrating listening and writing skills. Note-taking allows students to integrate both listening and writing skills. By listening and writing simultaneously, students are encouraged not only to hear the material but also to transform it into written form. This helps them to understand and process the material more deeply, making it easier for them to retain and recall it later. Next one, steps to listening and drawing correct shapes. Give these directions only to the class. Let students know that you will only read the instructions twice, so they need to listen carefully. Step 1. First step. Turn your paper horizontally. That means a landscape or long ways. Second step, draw a 2-inch 5-point star in the left-hand corner. The top point and the left node should touch the edge of the paper. Third step, now move your pencil to the middle of the paper. Draw a 1-inch square, shade or color in the square. The fourth step, on the bottom right-hand corner of the paper, draw a 2-inch circle. Leave about a 1-inch margin, which means to come over 1 inch on the edge of each side of the paper. Inside the circle, draw a happy face. Fifth step, for the last object, draw a 2-inch equal triangle in the top right-hand corner. Leave a 1-inch margin on both edges of the paper. Listening skill in middle school students. Definition of listening skills. Listening is the first language skill learned or mastered before somebody learns speaking, reading, and writing. Civics stated that listening is the fundamental skill that must be learned in the language learning process. Listening is very important for language learning because it helps students understand language the in here you can see listening is very important in language learning because it provides input for students and has a vital role in developing students' language knowledge. If students can't understand the input, the learning process can't begin. In line with this statement, Kim and Khan report that many linguists and English teachers state that listening becomes the most fundamental and crucial skill among other languages. And because it is a key role to study a foreign language, listening skills in middle school students. Definition of listening skills. Listening is the first language skill learned or mastered before somebody learns speaking, reading, and writing. Savick stated that listening is the fundamental skill that must be learned in the language learning process. RATSA is an acronym which is explained as receive, appreciate, summarize, and ask questions. I found that Rasa is a very impressive way to improve our listening. The most important thing in Rasa is that the speaker feels himself or herself really important when they give that such importance to his words by appearing and summarizing the words. Development of listening skills in adolescents. The school's educational activities are focused on the development of those communication skills and abilities that will help students function successfully in modern society. The primary prerequisite for achieving it is successful communication. Active listening is a communication skill that is especially important during the teaching process because it maintains and builds relationships between students and teachers and between students and students. Second chapter, the process of note-taking. Types of note-taking methods. Note-taking methods are different ways of recording information from a source such as a lecture, a book, or an article. Note-taking methods can help learners to improve their comprehension, retention, and to recall the material that they are studying. Boosted engagement. No active note taking keeps you engaged into the learning process, which reduces the likelihood of your mind wandering. Organized information. Notes act as an organized record of important points and ideas that is crucial for reviewing and comprehending complex information, especially when you need to refer back to it later. Improved listening skills. Taking notes forces you to listen actively, enhancing your ability to discern the key points from supplementary information. Increased collaboration. Sharing notes with peers or colleagues can foster collaboration. It offers multiple perspectives on the same information and fills in potential gaps. Improved listening skills. Taking notes forces you to listen actively, enhancing your ability to discern key points from supplementary information. Increased collaboration. Sharing notes with peers or colleagues can foster collaboration. It offers multiple perspectives on the same information and fills in potential gaps. Third chapter, we can see in third chapter the role of note-taking in enhancing listening skills. Record information with accuracy. Objectives to describe and test a model that comprise the accuracy of data gathered prospectively versus and among adult emergency department patients admitted with chest pain methods. The authors developed a model of information flow from subject to medical report to the clinical study case report based on the literature review. Okay. Next, conclusion. Take noting plays a crucial role in developing listening skills for middle school students. It helps them stay focused, process information more effectively, and retain what they have learned. Here is how note taking contributes to improving their listening abilities, enhances focus and attention. When students take notes during a lecture or discussion, they must actively listen in order to identify key points and record them. This helps reduce distractions and keeps them engaged in the material being presented. Here you can see references. First reference, active learning, how to study. Next one, learning strategies for students, success in school, teaching listening and speaking, and so on. List of used internet sites, www.zionet.uz, and so on. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.